Alright, 8.5, day 1, we're going to be factoring and solving quadratic equations. So this will be a 2-day lesson. The objective is to solve quadratic equations by factoring, as the title would indicate. We're going to start up with a little individual warm-up. Just go ahead and using the FOIL method, we're going to multiply these two binomials together. So remember the FOIL method, F-O-I-L, so the F stands for first, O is outer, oops, I is inner, and the L is last. Okay, so we're going to multiply first times first, the F. X times X gives us X squared. And then the outers, X and a 4, so it's going to give us a positive 4X. And then the inners, 3 and X, gives us a positive 3X. And then last 3 times 4 gives us a positive 12. We want to then combine like terms. So the 4x and the 3x gives us a 7x plus 12, and there's your final answer. Okay, for the next one, same thing, x times x. We multiply what's first in each of those terms, so it's going to give us an x squared, and then the outers, that's an x times 2, so plus 2x. The inners plus 6x, the last plus 12. So we have x squared plus 8x plus 12. Alright, why don't you guys do the last one, hit pause, do the last one, and then check your answer. Okay, so for the third one, you should have gotten x squared plus 6x plus 5. Alright, now here's the main part of the lesson. We're going to be solving these quadratic equations. The standard form of a quadratic equation is y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. To factor quadratics, we will multiply a times c and find factors of a times c that add to b. Once we have the equation in factored form, we're going to set both factors equal to 0 and solve for the variable. These solutions can also be called the roots or zeros of the quadratic equation. Graphically, these solutions are where the graph crosses the x-axis. Therefore, the solutions to the quadratic equations are also the x-intercepts. So when you need to find the solutions to a quadratic, what you're essentially finding is the x-intercepts, where the graph crosses the x-axis. Alright, so how are we going to factor and then solve for the quadratic equation? We have 4 steps. The first step, as we stated above, is to find the factors of a times c that sum to b. Alright, so a times c. The coefficient in front of your x squared term, that is your a. In this case, it's going to be 1. The coefficient in front of your x term, that's your b. That's going to be 7. And then the constant is your c, and that's 10. So we want factors of 1 times 10, a times c. So we want factors of 10 that sum to 7. Alright, so the factors of 10, 1 and 10, and 2 and 5. Which one of those sets adds the 7? Well, the 2 and the 5. Okay, so step 1's finished. We go to step 2. Write those factors as fractions over our a term. Reduce if possible, but keep it written as a fraction. And then this is something we won't do today, but we're going to get into. If a is negative, keep the negative sign with the number in the denominator. Alright, so write these factors as fractions over our a. So we're going to have 2 over our a is 1. So 2 over 1 and 5 over 1. Alright, now in step 3, we're going to write in factored form. So the denominator is always written first. So this is the numerator, and this is the denominator. Alright, so the denominator is always written first with the variable. In this case, the variable is x. So I have 1x, or x, and then, so there's my 1x, and then I have a positive 2. So I have x plus 2. Okay, and I put that in parentheses, and then I repeat for the second fraction. Here I have 1x, and I have a positive 5. Okay, so now that's in factored form. And then I set both factors equal to 0 and solve for step 4. So x plus 2 equals 0. Subtract 2 from both sides. So x equals negative 2. And then x plus 5 equals 0. Subtract 5 from both sides. X equals negative 5. Alright, so x equaling 2 and x equaling negative 5, those are my solutions. And what I know for a quadratic, the solutions are where the graph crosses the x-axis. Alright, and then this would be the equation in factored form. Alright. Okay, let's do the next one, number 2. So first step, find factors of a times c that sum to b. So we want factors. So my a is 1, b is 11, c is 18. So a times c, 1 times 18 is 18. So factors of 18 that sum to 11. So we have factors of 18, 1 and 18, 2 and 9, 3 and 6. So which ones sum to 11? A positive 2 and a positive 9. Alright, so I'm going to write those factors as fractions over our a term, which is 1. So 2 over 1 and 9 over 1. Alright, and now in step 3, the denominator is always written first with the variable in the parentheses. So I have 1x, or x, plus 2. And then I have x plus 9 equals 0. So this is factored form right here. So if I was asked to factor, that's how you would write it. And then to find the solutions, set each of those equal to 0 and solve. So you're going to get x equaling negative 2 and x equaling negative 9. Because you'd subtract 9 from both sides, you'd subtract 2 from both sides, that would cancel. Alright. Alright, now we're going to do number 3. So for 3, our a is equal to 1, our b is equal to negative 1, our c is equal to 6. So a times c is 1 times 6, so we want factors of 6 that sum to negative 1. So factors of 6, 1 and 6, and 2 and 3. Alright, so we have 1 plus 6, that would give us 7. So that's not going to work. Can I make one of them negative? And make the 6 negative and the 1 positive, that you get negative 5. Make the negative 1, or make the 1 negative and the 6 positive, you get positive 5. So with those you can't get negative 1. Alright, what if we make the 2 negative and the 3 positive? That gives us positive 1, not negative 1. If we make the 3 negative and the 2 positive, we get negative 1. However, 2 times negative 3, those are factors for negative 6, not positive 6. Alright, so we have no factors of 6 that sum to negative 1. So we're going to, you have no solutions here. Okay. Alright, now for the last one that we're going to do an example of, problem 7. So what we can do here is look at the terms and factor out the greatest common factor. So the GCF is going to be 2. So I can factor out a 2 here. And then what's left, so I would have 2x squared divided by 2. So the 2's cancel, so I would be left with x squared here. Negative 12x divided by 2. That would give me a negative 6x. That would go here. And then 16 divided by 2, that's going to give us a positive 8. Alright, and now we have our a term, it's 1, so we're able to solve this. So we have 2. And then we're looking here at this x squared minus 6x plus 8. We're going to factor that. So we're looking for factors. This equals 0. Factors of 8 that sum to negative 6. So 1 times 8, 2 times 4. Alright, now they have to sum to negative 6. So if I make both of these negative, a negative 2 times a negative 4 would give me a positive 8, so they're both factors of 8. And then if I add them together, I get negative 6. Alright, so I'm going to write those as fractions, negative 2 over 1 and negative 4 over 1. And then, remember, that goes with my x. So 1x, or x, and then minus 2, and then I have x minus 4 equals 0. Okay, now so you set all these equal to 0 and solve. So 2 equals 0. X minus 2 equals 0, x minus 4 equals 0. So does 2 equal 0? No, so we're done there. Add 2 to both sides here, so you get x equaling 2. That's a solution. Add 4 here. That cancels, so x equals 4 is a solution. Alright, so these are my solutions. And then this, if I was asked to put it in factored form, that is factored form. Okay? Now, what I want you guys to do is all the ones that we did not do, go ahead and do those right now. Hit pause, and then look back, and I'm going to put the answers in for those, and you can check your work. Okay, so here are the answers for 4, 5, and 6. And here's the answer for number 8. Alright, and I would anticipate we may have to go over number 8 in class. Alright, but there you have it. That's 8.5, day 1.